Hello, my name is James Halsey, and this is my EEP Summer 2023 review. My majors are in cybersecurity and computer systems and networking, and I plan to graduate in 2027. So this was my first co-op. In my EEP plan overview was a micro co-op and then two certifications. The micro co-op was the early IT summer camp. Worked with the UC, and then for the certifications, I chose the two that would be the most applicable to both of my majors. Security Plus is the most important entry level cybersecurity position certification, and Network Plus is the most important entry level networking certification. So those two were easy choices and very useful. So for the first thing we're going to start off with is the early IT summer camp. This was the first half. This was the in-person. This was very useful in terms of developing my soft skills. This was nice because it was also an IT related job. But the biggest thing was soft skills in terms of leading, giving advice, pushing the students in order to come to a right decision. And it overall just was a good leadership position just because we're basically the team lead and they're making a project. So it was experience working with a group of people, making sure they all did what they had to do. And the same can be said for the online portion of the camp. I was still very much a team lead, ushering this group in terms of coming up to an IT solution. So it was very useful for those soft skills, but I also had to develop some other soft skills because the students were very camera shy, very mic shy. So I had to learn how to circumvent and get around that. So that was also pretty useful in learning how to adapt to certain situations. My solution ended up being we would just talk in our little team group. We would all be in the same call. We'd talk if necessary, but that was the way we were able to circumvent that. So for the certifications, the first one I was able to do and complete and get certified in was Security Plus. I did multiple ways to study this. The first was through the self-paced study guide. This was exclusively the textbook, and I read through it. I'm not a big annotator, but I did make some annotations. And yeah, it was super useful in terms of the knowledge base, knowledge part of the CompTIA exam. But I felt as though I knew the knowledge, but I didn't know what type of questions they would ask. I wanted to feel more prepared, so I looked up pre-exam questions, and this ended up being a hugely successful resource for me. These two exam compass links were the two I used for both the Security Plus and the Network Plus exams in order to get a better idea of the questions being asked, what type of things, how they phrase it. So that was huge in my studying, and it was a huge reason I succeeded on the Security Plus certification exam. Along with that was another resource I used besides the CompTIA provided resources was my own Quizlet. I made Quizlets for every single of the practice exams, mainly just the questions I missed. It took a while because I took the exams to know what I did know, what I didn't know, and then I put all the things I didn't know into a Quizlet and I studied them. So this overall took a while. The name was made in middle school. Don't mind it. But but yeah, so the Quizlets were very useful in studying for both Network Plus and Security Plus. So the biggest issue with the Security Plus exam was I didn't feel confident with the practical exam, and I was studying for the Network Plus for about 3 weeks, and this concern started to come up again. So I made the decision recently to buy the Cert Master Learn. I bought it recently. I've completed about 11%, and I estimate it takes about 3 months to study the Network Plus. So that's about like 10, 15 days right there. And I plan to have it at least by the end of the first week of school. And then with that, another important resource that I had along the way was ChatGPT. You might think, how the heck is that useful for this? But it really helped me break down things into bite-sized pieces. So like, there's a good example of this one right here. I basically would ask it an important concept and ask it to explain it in simple terms. And this just made it much easier to understand and comprehend. But that was a really big part of the studying and understanding both the Security Plus and the Network Plus. So overall, how did this EEP help my professional growth? I would claim that it greatly helped my professional growth. The biggest is just IT experience. I got my first IT job. It wasn't a technical IT job, but even being in the IT field, that's really important. As I said, I can use the example of a team lead. But the other huge thing is I got the Security Plus certification. That is the number one cybersecurity entry-level certification. So getting a cybersecurity job will be significantly easier now that I have that. And then with the Network Plus certification on the way, that will be useful, but the Security Plus is the biggest thing I got during the summer. Personal growth, I would say most of my personal growth is in soft skills. I would say, obviously, I mentioned being a team lead and leadership. That was really huge. Another thing would be giving advice, pushing students in the right direction. And then, honestly, the biggest thing I would say is the discipline. Over the summer, I really was concerned about how I'd get the hours in, but my dad helped me set a schedule, and I would just go to the library from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I really didn't think this was sustainable at first, but the more I did it, the easier it got. And it overall just greatly helped me stay focused, stay all that. And I feel much stronger going into the next semester of school with a little bit more discipline, and that will surely help me at my future job. So my closing thoughts are overall, this EEP was extremely useful, though I do not want to do an EEP in the future. There was a lot of unpaid labor, especially during the main part of the day. It was really time consuming, but I think this was a necessary step in my career path. And hopefully I'll have future co-ops to come and will not have to do a future EEP. But I am thankful for this opportunity. Thank you very much for listening.